Andrea in Salt Lake City, you're on.
Afternoon, everyone. So the one particular aspect that I want to focus on in regards to this is it really the sticking point is due process, and certainly it's a very time-sensitive matter. The thing that I can't help but notice is how the Senate is already bungling this and telegraphing their intentions to not seat Moore should he be elected.
Yeah.
And given Moore's base of support, that seems like an absolutely insane thing to make even remotely public.
Yeah, it does seem weird, Jessica. That's what I'm saying. That was the point that I made, is that we're in a world now where people are, they how could you just not seat a guy? If he got elected,
right?
How could you not seat him? That's what it concerns me, that McCain would say that he should not be seated if elected.
Yeah, no, I was surprised to see that, and surprised to see that from Cory Gardner. But there were a lot of people to begin with. I mean, listen, the battle between the Roy Moores of the world and establishment Republicans is real, and it's fierce. Mm-hmm. And, even though Trump, which I think maybe it was by accident, backed Luther Strange, like I heard that rumor, right, that he just got the wrong name and was like Luther Strange, and then he stuck with it. But Roy Moore wasn't the establishment guy, so I don't think McConnell's all that upset that this guy is going up in flames. The problem is about what they're going to do now, right? So you do stage a write-in campaign, like I was talking to Matt, your producer, about it, but then it would probably have to be a Mo Brooks, right? You can't go back to Luther Strange, who the people rejected.
Uh-huh.
But I
Mo Brooks, they would like him. I think the right wing would like Mo Brooks. It should have been Mo Brooks
from the beginning.
Yeah.
What happened to him? What happened?
Well, he got taken out.
Yeah, I think what's happening is that you have these situations where people are they're being forced to pick a side. I think it's similar to what we see with identity politics. And when you force people to pick a side, sometimes they'll go for the lesser evil.
Yeah.
And if you have the people, we have this movement, this feeling in the country now that the government is trying to rip you off. It's rigging the games. It's not listening to you. And if you have people say, well, maybe we'll vote for this deeply flawed person, and the people currently in power say, well, we'll just kind of change the game up a little bit to keep him out. That might be enough to make people say, oh, yeah, we're going to stick it to you.
Could he win? Look, he's in Alabama. He's got a lot of support. People are calling in here saying, I don't like this. The Washington Post, they're in, league with the Democrats. Could he win, paper. Jessica? Yeah. Put on your political hat.
He technically could win, absolutely. I mean, Doug Jones is galvanizing a lot of support, certainly from moderates and independents. I mean, there are a few, just to say, even before we knew any of this about Roy Moore, there are a few Jeff Sessions staffers who actually went over to the Doug Jones campaign. Like, that's how repellent Moore was.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to add from the conversation that we were having between breaks, which I think is important to share with listeners, that we're dealing with so many different types of bad guys here. We're dealing with people who you can identify as really sick, right? That they should be on a therapy couch for the rest of their lives. And I mean, though he's the funniest of the bunch, I would say like a Louis C.K. is in there, right? Like there's something going on in his head that is making him do these things. And versus, like you said, the Amazon guy, who seems like he's just a creep.
Yeah,
right?
He was a creepy guy. He did.
She wasn't 5. Yeah. She wasn't.
She wasn't even working for him.
No, and she's super successful or something. I'm not saying it's appropriate in any
way.
But
it's you got with. To me, it lessens the Weinstein to put them all together.
Right, and then I'd like to focus on people who are actually a public threat. And Harvey Weinstein is that.
Yeah.
Roy Moore appears that he at least was that.
You have these levels of someone who is an assailant is committing what is unambiguously a crime, and then someone who's creepy.
Yeah.
Now, neither of those are good. So if we want to sit down and come up with a scale of perversion, we can certainly do that.
Obviously, you do. You keep talking about making these scales and charts. You want to drop the charts.
Tom doesn't like to be limited by my definitions of a pervert.
Do you know, is Andrea still on the line?
Yeah, I am. I was also wanted to toss in a brief history lesson regarding not seating elected senators, but if you had a question, please, Tom, I'm all ears.
Well, more than a question, I have a comment. I think it's Andrea's birthday today, or was it yesterday, Andrea?
It was yesterday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, loyal caller, Andrea.
I learned these things from Tass, the resident artist.
What would we do without her?
I know. And, my friend Bill Lobley, I learned about his birthday as well. This is what I learned. on the show.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah,
Celebration.
it's a tight knit community of 4 listeners, but it's woven. It's woven. So
Hey,
Wait, is
quality
this?
over quantity, Joe.
Wait, Andrea, what's your Twitter handle? Are you STL Blonde?
oh no, she's not that.
Oh
that
no.
woman.
No.
Okay. I mean,
see
I
her.
like you too, but
You'll see her
there are
online
like
later.
5.
Andrew's the one with the gangrenous leg, infected
Hey,
leg.
I actually walked without a crutch or a brace yesterday. Probably ill-advised, but that was a good birthday present for me.
Nice.
Fantastic.
We'll put that back on.
Well, Andrea, have a happy birthday as
Thank you.
as the wounded warrior that you are.
Not service-connected.
Yes. We'll be let's take a break. We'll be back on the Tom Shalhoub Show.